Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Jim here, Creative Plan Podcast Network. D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. It is #RPGaDAY2019. We are here together for August the 2nd for Unique. That's the prompt for the day. Unique.
Unique.
Yeah, it sounds like they're playing Magic with a blender out there. That's unique. So who wants to go first, and what does unique mean to you?
I'll go first. Obviously, unique is one of a kind experiences. So, one of the most, not one of, the most unique experience I've ever had was with the Vampire LARP. Yes. I was part of the Tucson Vampire LARP, which, and I'm going to be bragging here, lasted 7 years without a reboot. To the best of my knowledge, it's the longest running LARP, continuous, with the same characters, without a reboot. We did a really good job of making sure that players actually were character-driven and had storylines. It got really telenova after 7 years. I will not deny that. However, we were able to keep the power level kind of even, people rotating in and out, and it was just incredible. But the most unique experience I had while I was doing that Vampire LARP was here in Tucson, there is something called Gaslight Theater. Which is a melodrama theater where you go and the crowd response is part of the performance. When the hero comes out, everybody cheers. When the villain comes out, everybody boos. And the Gaslight Theater was doing a production of Dracula. And we decided that we had to go in character.
Oh, God.
I heard Talia told stories of this.
So, of course, being Vampire the Masquerade, you're not supposed to actually let the general public know that there are actually vampires there. And we were, well, mostly really good about that. But in this particular, so the extra GMs to make sure no extra going on. There was some feeding here and there off of some nice people and things like that. But we all go into the theater. And they start off with the introduction of the famed vampire hunter,
Van Helsing.
And without prompting, everybody in the vampire group, which, because we were a single group, they had mistakenly all put on the balcony together, where nobody else in the theater could see us, and we were all together, let out, boo! Now, this is just an actor who's already midway through this, and since he pretty much knows what this production is going to be going through, stops, looks up, and gets this oh my God, what am I into face?
And it's magical gaslight when they interact with the audience too.
Yes.
That's part of the experience.
That is supposed to be part of the experience. So he kind of goes, well, that was kind of weird, but yeah, we'll just continue on. So it comes the time when the master himself is introduced. Dracula. There's a few little boos down near the stage, and everybody in the balcony, yay! Dracula looks up and says, with his eyes, this is going to be fun. He gets to the part where he is about to take his first bite of his lady love. And from our crowd, one of the most brilliant role players that has ever been my honor to play vampire, who was playing a bruja, which was basically a college frat boy.
Perfect for bruja.
Perfect for bruja. Starts going, drink, 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 drink.
I suppose it's better than chug.
Exactly. And of course, instantly, that becomes the cheer from the entire upper balcony. Drink, 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 drink. And he looks up, and he gets this twinkle in his eyes, and gives a little extra shot, and shakes his head a little bit for emphasis. And the crowd goes wild. Ah! And throughout the entire evening, it basically goes like that. The person that they had playing Van Helsing, very, very good actor, but not really into the whole improv, and definitely not used to not being the hero, is walking around like he's in a completely different play, and he doesn't know what's going on.
He got gaslighted.
And was just going, okay. And the entire play did not have to have one word changed on it, but became an entirely different experience because these weirdos up in the balcony started cheering for Dracula. And of course, the 3 times that he drank from his lady love. I still have the Gaslight program from that day, which awesome. We went afterward. The GMs and the leaders of the group went afterwards and went, did we ruin it for everyone else? And the guy who was the lead actor just and didn't say anything because we were paying customers and you really couldn't do anything. The man who played Dracula just smiled and said, you made my months. And when he signed my program, he wrote, drink, drink, drink. And that is the most unique experience I have had role playing.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
is fantastic.
I guess I'll go. So, when you said bringing up unique, how great it is, there's always the unique where it doesn't really help you with anything. At all.
Quirky unique.
Yeah. So, D&D campaign, like I think a month ago, our friend from Maine came down. He chooses to be a changeling rogue, or not rogue, bard.
I'm a changeling bard. Yeah.
Bard. So, of course, he rolls. Highest roll goes to him charisma. He has extra stats, puts it all into him charisma. So 20 at this
bard.
point. But he decided to go off the campaign. Our DM's like, all right, fine. Joseph's creative enough. We could do it. But we went so off that he was making everything up as we go and hoping that we could go back.
We've decided to take over the show.
Yeah.
We're going somewhere else.
So at that point, I'm like, all right, cool. He's gonna take charge. So does everyone else in the party. He's gonna take charge. What are we gonna do now? Oh, we're gonna steal stuff from the investigators. I think he's done it. Stole the gem. I'm like, you think the investigators stole the gem? Yes, all of them. I don't trust that Doyle. I'm not sure if it's because of the name or if he's convinced that he actually was the investigator. That's what. So, like, all right, cool. Next thing we know, we go off the map.
Again, right?
Yep. We take over a tavern, and we scared the local owner of that tavern. We own a tavern now.
Ever noticed how adventuring parties eventually own a tavern?
Yeah.
That's the best thing
That
that
is
happens in
awesome.
Adventure Party. It's wholesale drinks.
Uh-huh.
So we own a tavern, and of course, we drink. Obviously. I'm trying to outdrink him, he's trying to outdrink me. Our orc is trying to... one moment, he grabs a rat, eats half of it, wipes the other half on his mouth because he's smart. Another unique thing.
Well, if you're drinking a lot, you really should have something to eat.
Yeah.
It's good to keep it in balance.
Okay.
Finally. And then finally, our DM is trying to get everything back on the track.
He's trying to find a plot thread.
Yeah. So he brings in a lawyer. It doesn't help when he's wearing a bright green jacket with a professor type of shirt, button up, slacks, purple slacks, by the way. The most disgusting description he could give us.
I'm visioning the Hulk, sorry.
Yeah. Like, weird colors, and we don't trust this guy.
Obviously, it's a dragon in disguise.
Yeah. But our Bardic Horse takes over, persuades him, we want money. How much for this information? 2,000 gold. No. Make it 75,000 gold.
Did I say money? I meant real money.
Yeah. At this point, it's like, Joseph, make it $200 each. We're good. But as soon as we're done with that campaign, he leaves. We go back to our session. Of course, go right back on rails.
That was all just a dream.
It was like, but we digress.
Yeah. That one small session of we could have just gone straight, just turned into loops, turns, curves, somehow going back where we started from. Yeah. Nowhere going straight.
If it was filmed, it would be like have the wavy lines.
Yeah.
Then it ends like Hangover Begins, where you all just wake up and go, where'd that changeling go with all that money? Last I remember, he was talking us into drinking one more round of shots and to put all the gold in a bag of holding.
Basically, that's how it happened. He took his share and left.
His share. Please lean that table up and pour it all in the bag.
Yeah, there we go.
So there's my unique story of our changeling bard / orc. Monk orc.
Hey, for me, I would have to say my most unique character wasn't even initially my character. It was when we were kids. Our Robert, our GM, had designed this one campaign. Basically, he told us, okay, here's your main party. I need you to come up. Each person has to come up with 2 other characters. Yeah, basically fodder. So, and my brother had come up with these 2 that he called Wimp and Wuss. So something happened, and I wound up playing his character Wuss. And I'm like, well, I cannot live with this name. So, and it was a half-elf ranger. So I had changed its name to Blackhawk. I know, so from original, especially, that long ago. So I wound up getting this character who was pretty pedestrian, very boring and stuff, but the craziest shit happened to this character. So eventually this character wound up being one of my favorites. And not only did he become a were-rat, but he was also cursed with split personality. So here's this literally crazy were-rat who, I mean, would just had incredible luck. I just don't. This character had the best luck ever, and so at that point, when we were in, I think it was the Temple of Elemental Evil, that old campaign. At one point they go, we come into this room and there's like these 2 or 3 Ettins, and Ettins, the giants with the 2 heads.
Yeah.
Well, they only have clubs. So, as a were-rat, you could only hit me with either a magic or a silver weapon. Blunt weapons had no effect. So they're like, okay, we're going to leave you to take care of this. And I'm like, what? So they do. The whole party leaves. And I'm there.
Just closing the door behind you.
So I, of course, eventually take out all these guys because they can't hit me, And then I wind up eventually catching up to them and go through this whole epic thing. Although there was this one scene at one point where there was this corpse with a stake in it. Mm-hmm. Speaking of vampires, and we're all well, what should we do? It's just a dead. So it's take out the stake. So they take out the stake. It starts to wake up. Put it back. And they're like, well, so obviously it's a vampire, hey, but even if it was a vampire, taking the stake out wouldn't work or whatever. So we back and forth. Take it out, take it out, put it back in. Take it out, put it back in. Eventually we just took it out and talked to him. But that was another side thing. Eventually at the very end, when the whole thing was coming to a head, this one character goes, gonna pray to my God. I'm gonna make a prayer to my God because shit's going on. I kid you not, rolled 100, a natural 100. Sure enough, God came. I can't remember which God it was that I had picked for this character, but it's all he would do is cure the insanity, though. So
maybe it was all in his plan that you stay a were-rat.
Stay a were-rat, but I didn't. It was I had the control over it at that point. It wasn't just
full moon ratness.
Yeah, full moon ratness. So, but you got cured of. This character was so crazy. One of its personalities. This is probably why I play a changeling bard. Oh my God! One of its characters was Gage the Great, a paladin with a +6 holy avenger sword.
As you're whipping your dagger out.
As we're going up against a white dragon, and it's like Gage the Great, because at this point it could have been Sad. No, he's like. Nope, had to be Gage the Great. Yes, and he actually rolls I'm going to charge the dragon and stab it in the chest with my +6 holy avenger, which wasn't really a +6 holy avenger. It was a +1 longsword. I rolled a friggin' natural 20, followed by another natural 20,
the power
and the DM's going, what the fuck?
Is this what madness feels like?
This character had the most incredible luck, and it's still to this day the most unique character I'd ever had. Because it's no matter what shit happened, somehow it had to happen to him, and somehow he always made it through. I don't know. I was freaking crazy.
Some characters are just awesome like that.
Yeah.
Or even unique.
Although, the most unique character name I've ever done, also a half-elf ranger, by the way. His name is Thwack Tittlebaum. Thwack, because of course that's the sound arrows make, and I just thought the lesson was funny.
So did you say Twiddle Bomb or Twiddle Bum?
Bomb, as in dream or treat.
Bomb, as in an ointment? Or
tree. German for tree or something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
So for me, I'm going to be all lame or unique, as it may be, and I would say the most unique game system rules that I'm a fan of is, of course, I'm going to go with the Star Wars and Genesis that's on the game table, because the fact that it uses the narrative dice with symbols that you can both succeed or fail, advantage or disadvantage, and then, of course, the beautiful triumph or despair. Because I, as a game mechanic, I'm a huge fan in the fact that, yes, you failed, but then something good could happen, or yes, you succeeded, but then something bad happens anyway. That's not your fault, but it's just narratively flowing. So I would say Star Wars from Fantasy Flight Games and the Genesis system, which is basically the same rule set made for whatever GM wants to put whatever. Because, of course, I still was told I need to do a Wild West with Genesis system, like a Weird West kind of thing.
Deadlands?
Yeah, Weird West.
It's supposed to be a new Deadlands. I have dice. They're 6-sided dice in the shape of bullets. They're really cool. I got them at the last RinCon.
Mm-hmm. So I would throw out that the Genesis system slash Star Wars is the unique thing. But, I'm going to shamelessly plug something else, because you know what else is something unique that I know of? Tuscan in Tucson, Arizona. As I look at Scott and say, Scott, tell us more about Tuscan.
Tuscan is the local science fiction, fantasy, horror convention here in town over Veterans Day in November, right?
Yes.
Yes, over Veterans Day weekend. This year we always have amazing guests. Our Toastmaster is Weston Oakes, an incredibly wonderful, weird horror writer who is pretty close to a Heinlein hero.
Mm-hmm.
He has been there, done it all, literally got the t-shirts.
Yeah, and he still goes overseas and serves on operations.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly, but we can't talk about it.
And he's super nice.
And he is super nice. Website is TucsonSci-Fi.com. Mm-hmm. And it's just an incredible small convention. We have maybe 400 or 500 people. We have a limit to our membership because of that. And it's the best description that I've heard for it is it's kind of like a high school reunion for the guys that you wish you went to high school with. Because we have a lot of people who get together basically once a year at Tuscan and reminisce and catch up. But we also have a lot of new people who continually come over to see the authors. It's not like a lot of the larger conventions which have vendor halls and then some programming. I'm actually in charge of programming, so I'm going to brag here. We have, in my opinion, the best programming for a convention of this size ever.
It's massive amounts
It's massive amounts of programming. We had 250 unique, different possible things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And remember how I said this is like a convention of 300 to 500 people?
There's a lot going on
There's
everywhere.
a lot going on everywhere. There's a traditional consuite with actual munchies.
Oh, it's one of the best consuites I've ever been to.
One
Margie
of our friends,
runs
runs it like a champion chef.
There's actually chili Sunday afternoon, usually soup
and
or
it's all
curry.
homemade. It's not
all,
like from a can.
Yes.
No,
it's all homemade, absolutely incredible. The hotel that we're at now, Sheridan on Grant, right?
Yeah,
the same one
on
that
Grant.
okay. Actually has a presentation room that's set up like a theater.
Down
our theater people actually spend all year, because it's fan run, it's fan loved. People are they are finding things which aren't on Netflix. Mm-hmm. You can't find, but they're still absolutely great, and you would never be able to see them unless coming to Tuscan. We also have great connections with the local Tucson film community. So frequently we get special previews. Last year we had the premiere of the Revenge of Zoe.
Yeah.
Which is now going across the country on premier theater, premier theater galas across the country.
I have to say real quick, my favorite thing was watching a Timothy Zahn Star Wars fan film that had Mara Jade and Thrawn in it. Timothy Zahn sitting right behind us. The year that he was there was awesome. I mean,
he was so
Jedi that year. It was perfect. and
one of the nice things about TusCon is that the guests that we actually get basically all come from fandom. So they're there to meet people. Nobody's there to make, they're all authors. That's what they do for a living. They want to sell more books. But everybody knows that they're not going to be going to TusCon to make their, to make
show
their money.
Books,
Exactly.
basically.
They're basically there to, meet the people, have some fun, take a kind of working vacation.
Sort of like Kelly when she got to see Eric
Oh my God!
who was not even scheduled to be there, but came out on the fly.
Oh,
Yes.
I was so excited.
He
One of
was
my absolute favorite authors, and he's so sweet. Oh my God. I totally fangirled.
This year's guest of honor is Jonathan Mabry, who in a couple of months will have his series V Wars on Netflix.
Ooh.
So you will be also an amazing science fiction horror author. Also does podcasts. Great personality interviewer. So he really knows how to keep a room and just talk to people. And I have gone on and on about TusCon. So, commercial offer.
Hey, I just had to give you the chance because we all love TusCon. TusCon is really one of those great, the drinking experience that you can be at the bar and look over and, oh my God, there's so-and-so. And you can immediately sit and talk to an author on a one-on-one.
And if you ever want to meet an author and actually go up and talk to him, come to our meet and greet Friday night, buy an author a drink, he'll let you talk to him.
Especially if the drink's named after him. So that covers August the 2nd for Unique.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.
On the battlefield, I'm a warrior, ready to kill or be killed. I've defeated orcs from the north, sent Kandorian demon spawns back to the depths, and drank with Cimmerian heroes. But when I get back from a hard day of disemboweling my enemies, I enjoy nothing more than to open my castle doors and find a dungeon crate as my reward for blood well spilled. Designed for role players and tabletop gamers, Dungeon Crate is a monthly subscription box service with a treasure hoard of loot you can use on or off the battlefield. Miniatures, dice, tokens, coins, maps, modules, terrain pieces, handcrafted items, RPG jewelry, and more are yours for only a few gold per month. You even get a digital crate along with a physical one as an added bonus. So what say you? Are you ready for postal glory? Oh boy. DungeonCrate.com. Let the adventure begin!